All right, saying the cabinet meet is going to happen. They are going to be talking about it. Not sure whether the quantum of the price hike will be discussed, but definitely all three options that we've been reiterating for you are going to happen sooner than later. Clear statement coming in from the Petroleum Minister there. Let's go back to the telecom story that we've been talking about, and let me also get in Girish Trivedi, Deputy Director, Telecom South Asia, Middle East, Frost and Sullivan. Girish, morning. How does the Providence deal change your perspective on Idea Cellular in terms of value per share, and on, let's focus on Idea, then I'll focus on Bharti with the result?
Yes, interesting question, because the company has definitely looked to expand its services beyond the current circles, and one of them being Bihar, which is definitely low penetrated, and then Idea is about to start their operations there. So it is definitely going to be a area where they have to expand. It sounds a good opportunity for the company to go and expand in these low penetrated market, which means that it's going to affect positively on the top line as well as number of subscribers they can add on a regular basis from these new markets which they are entering. So overall, it requires a lot of investment. It requires a lot of money to be invested into network infrastructure expansion, rollout, and obviously human capital, which means that Idea will need funds from all sources to ensure that they have enough integrity to expand services and reach the customer at a very brisk pace. And I believe that this deal will be positive in that aspect for Idea.
What do you think this news means for the entire tower business of the country? The entire tower business, which some would say is a backbone for the wireless business, but it's an expensive business to roll out. It's a business where you don't make money on day one, you start make money in 5-6 years. You think the way valuations are going for that business, it's slightly overstretched?
What I believe is that if you look at the current growth area in terms of actual towers being deployed by all the operators, there is still a scope for growth, and there is still a scope for a lot of towers to come in and cover a lot of areas which are still not being covered by operators currently. And looking at that perspective, it is definitely a area where the growth is going to come from. There is a lot of investment which will happen to expand to areas where the operators are not present. New players are coming into the market, which means that obviously there is a scope for higher tenants for the existing players, as well as new tower players to expand beyond what they already have on ground. Overall, it means that there is still scope for growth, but it needs to be seen that the way the valuations are going. It is an expensive business to run, definitely. If operators can look at reducing their optics and their operational maintenance costs on a regular basis, and try and ensure that their costs are under control, and look at alternative sources to reduce the optics part, then definitely there are some positives on those front if operators are able to deploy it on ground. But what I see is that it still needs to be evaluated over a period of 3 to 4 years, because this kind of a business has long gestation period.
All right. Right, Girish, do stay with us. I'm going to get another perspective, going completely different angle, but staying within the same sector. We've been talking about Bharti MTN for a while right now, but Arijit Banerjee now joins us, linking the competitor's name with MTN. Arijit, that's unusual.
There seems to be a huge buzz now in the market that Bharti's competitor in India, Reliance Communication, is also getting ready to enter the fray for a bid. There has been now talks of 2 European players looking at it, but of course this would be the first time that another Indian player would be looking at, if we don't count Vodafone, which of course is an international player. Now, why this buzz is happening is that Arcom has been looking at expansion. They have been looking at acquiring companies in Africa. They recently acquired a company in Uganda to look at that market there, and they have a lot of focus on Africa. And MTN could be a very good actually opportunity for them. But Arcom may just be also entering the fray just to spoil the bid for Bharti, because as and as more and more competitors come in, Bharti's bid could obviously keep going up. MTN would be looking at a much higher price. So that could also be a very interesting angle to why Arcom could be looking at it. They had actually some time back appointed bankers to look at the funding needs, and that seems to be the biggest impediment when you look at Arcom's bid for MTN, the amount of money involved. Though of course Reliance Communication and Anil Ambani is known to be a financial wizard, and he can raise a lot of finances, but going for the MTN bid would be very difficult looking at the market capitalization of Arcom. So that could be a very big deterrent, and also Arcom itself is denying that it is in any way trying to bid for MTN.
So Arijit, are we saying that you don't know till the last date what the envelope will contain, or do you think this is pure attempt to put a cog in the wheel? United has also said, look, we're interested in MTN, but you just made a statement and nothing really after that.
As long as there is no exclusivity agreement signed with Bharti by MTN, there would be actually other players who would try to get in and look at it. What will be interesting to note is the fact that how far have the negotiations with Bharti gone ahead, and if the exclusivity agreement is finally signed between the two parties, then all these rumors would be put to rest, and that is one of the reasons why Bharti is also pushing for a quick closure of the deal, because it is also a little apprehensive of the fact that other players, especially players like AT Salat or Saudi Telecom, who've got a lot of money with them, could be looking at getting into the fray, because MTN is a very good opportunity, European operators and now an Indian player. So all this could actually totally create a lot of problems for Bharti when it goes in for the MTN bid, because valuations could go just off the table, and that could be a big problem for Bharti.
Interesting twist there. Thanks very much, Arijit Banerjee, for the latest on what is becoming Arcom MTN. Girish, what do you make of this? Now, Arijit, they're giving both the possibilities. Arcom might just be making things difficult for Bharti, but all in all, it's going to take the price of MTN, or whatever the price is finally paid by whoever acquires it, to a much higher level.
Yeah, it typically happens in a deal where you have more than two serious bidders, where a company can see synergies with more than two or three companies. It's a very natural process, and if there are more than one serious players who are offering a good amount of money for MTN, then I think the valuations will definitely stretch a bit from what initially being reported. But it's still early days. I still believe that it all depends on what route the discussion goes, whether it's a part merger, it's a part stake buyout, or it's a full buyout. So things will change depending on how the discussions move forward and in which direction.
All right, Girish Trivedi, good having you on the show with us. Thanks very much indeed for joining us and giving us Frost & Sullivan's view on what's happening in telecom. Meanwhile, sugar stocks have started correcting. Sharp reaction to the news that